welcome to another case study for Becoming Light, featuring one of my Gemini twins, Heather Tufton. And Heather, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Heather Tufton. I live in Portland. I own a salon called Sparrow.
And how long have you been doing hair?
I have been doing hair for 22 years.
What? Amazing. And we initially met through Destroy the Hairdresser coaching many, many moons ago in like 2019, actually. And you took the program, the Becoming Light program, pretty early on, which was amazing because your input actually allowed me to refine it and build it to what it is now. And now it's like an 8-week program. But I also just want to cut to the good stuff. So I want to know, what were the results for you from the Becoming Light program?
So with the Becoming Light program, first and foremost, what led me there is we had a group meditation that you had done, and it moved me so much that it was just, I couldn't not take your program. And I was in a really big transition in my life, as you know, and we won't get into on this short little thing, but doing the energy work with you shifted so many things for me personally, and especially the chakra balancing. It really changed a lot of things in my life for the better. I'm still like a little skittish about doing energy work on people, which we can all laugh about because you know my personality. I'm a waiter. But taking the program has changed so many aspects for me personally, but also behind the chair. And being mindful of what I do when I put my hands on my clients is a huge shift for them, even though I'm not doing like secret energy work or any of those things. You can feel it in them that when I'm working through their crown, it's mindful.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what about the process was effective for you? Like what was enjoyable for you about it?
A few things, like definitely, like again, getting everything balanced, trying new modalities with meditation, which have been so fun, and just a really nice shift. And now I'm forgetting the question.
It's really more about the process, right? Because we have different modules. We have different like modules. We have different like group calls. Like we have like the Wednesday like meditation group as well.
Yeah. I love Wednesday Warriors. I love the meditation group, and just like connecting with other stylists as well. There's some like fun witches that I've gotten to know specifically because of your program.
Yes. That is the best part. Like the community that is building from this has been honestly the most joyful aspect of it, especially because I found that the people who are coming in might not necessarily identify as witches, or they might not even necessarily like look like what you would think, somebody in a holistic, hair business looks like, which I really actually appreciate. I appreciate there's kind of this like punk rock, vibe about a lot of them, which is very fun. It's a fierce kind of person.
Yeah, that is a beautiful way of putting it, and true. I think lots of times, especially talking about energy work or like, shifting your internal focus to being the best that you can be, feels really, really crunchy and really like yoga pants-y.
Yeah.
And we are not those people.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think the wound of perfectionism, of course, is pervasive amongst many people, particularly I think among women, particularly among female hairdressers, right? And so if we go into this realm thinking that we have to be perfect, we have to look a certain way, we need to act a certain way, we need to feel a certain way 100% of the time, then that can be this roadblock that's actually preventing hairdressers from really achieving wealth in all facets. We're looking at wealth not only for the money that you're bringing, but you also want this freedom, this purpose, and this expansion. So then when we look at wealth from that viewpoint, it becomes way bigger than just the money in our bank account. And it's fascinating to me how what we're literally talking about is this perfectionism can be so pervasive in our industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I love that you spoke to that. And of course, I want to go big picture with you. So I always want to know, like, how did this impact your life? Because you've made so many remarkable changes. So I definitely want to speak to that.
Yeah. I feel like my brain was kind of stuck in a hamster wheel. That was just because I was so just overwhelmed with everything, and then like throwing COVID and having a salon that was only open for 6 months prior to COVID and all of that joy. Being able to ground and being able to focus is the biggest gift on earth, because I just couldn't get there. I couldn't hold a thought because I couldn't be present. Because everything was just like shift, 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 shift. So going through and balancing everything, and some of the little tricks to bring you back into the present, the snacks, love snacks.
Yeah.
Really let me like come back to center, focus, stop being so reactive, not all the time, but like working on being present to the decisions I'm making and how I want to show up in my day. And I just needed everything to clear to be able to do that. And I just prior I couldn't get there. I couldn't focus.
Yeah.
So that is really huge. And talking about like abundance and money and like charging your worth,
Yep.
making the business that you want to have instead of the business that you think you should have.
Yeah.
Which is exciting, like my pricing module has changed. My rent structure is much more consistent with what my rent structure should be, because I have a rental salon. If you're a stylist in Portland, I have a spot. But just really like coming into what is my worth, and not getting stuck in perfectionism, and getting more into what do I want,
Yeah.
and having the space to create that.
Yeah. And I love that. That's been so fun to work with other hairdressers and really have have a system that I teach, but then have everybody really add their own unique signature to it and find something that works for them, but also works for your market. Your market and your people are very different from my market and my people. So it's not really like, a cookie cutter, one size fits all. You just replicate the system and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you really do need to beta test, and then figure out what's actually going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fabulous. So I love to hear that you're speaking to that, but you're also earning more, because that's, really important.
Oh,
I think it's been so prevalent in our industry, and where like I use this, saying that's like, we literally will set ourselves on fire in order to keep other people warm.
yeah. Yeah. And going into a different pricing structure takes the emotions out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, everything's transparent, everything's out there. Like this is it. This is how long it's going to take me to do your hair. This is what I charge. Not having like tipping, and just really charging your worth. Yeah. Makes it so much easier to actually charge your dang worth, and not give an emotional discount to someone because they're having a bad day, which notorious.
I mean, same, of course. Yeah. Do you mind if we talk about the mystery school?
No,
Cool.
I do not mind.
So I was writing earlier about life activation and in conjunction with your natal chart, and how really, like, the best metaphor that I could use is it's almost like it's taking all the best aspects out of your natal chart and making them more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if we write about life activation, like, it's going to align you with your soul purpose, and people say, like, I don't really know what that means. Like, that's cute. It's not really for me. But I loved that metaphor of life activation being like taking the best parts of your natal chart and really like bringing them to light, allowing you to become more you, which I've seen. And I don't know if you've felt that since your life activation, but I've certainly seen that, and then watching you walk the path. And, I think that this path is not for everybody. But I think that it is for certain hairdressers, particularly for salon owners, because you do need more light to hold if you're spreading that with others. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about what drew you to initiation and life activation.
So, and I'm also cracking up because you and I both had a reading yesterday, and it just is, it's just us. Speaking of natal chart, I just got, I had a reading yesterday. So I have a super fresh one and a super fresh perspective on kind of where I'm going. What drew me to life activation again was just that I was in such a shift in my life. Um, opening the salon, everyone's dealing with COVID, but having that, like trying to navigate that as a new business owner,
Yeah.
leaving a very long-term relationship,
Yep.
and just really trying to get past my shit, quite honestly, and
Yep.
like, let those old stories just be old stories and not who I was anymore. So that's for me what life activation, what led me there is that I just want to I want to be my best self. I don't want to let fear hold me back anymore. I don't want to let other people's stories about who I am be the story that's me. Um, I think we all have a higher purpose.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel that tug coming at you of like, I want to do what I'm supposed to do. And I have an idea of what it is, but how am I going to get there? And, you know, kicking and screaming the whole entire way because it's literally the only way I do anything.
Let's do it.
So stubborn.
It's resistance. It's just resistance to the light. And it's also resistance against this idea of control.
Yeah, so that's really where I ended up of like, you know what, like super curious. I'm open to a lot of things. I have an astrologer, I have an energy healer, you know, you and I connect so much. So instantly that is just like, why not? Let's do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then you got initiated.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm so excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been really interesting because again, kicking and screaming, but like I make decisions like that, but to actually process things takes me so long.
Integration takes a while. I mean, there's some people who, through life activation, and then if they choose to later go through initiation, like they'll start feeling and seeing changes right away, but that's not everybody. Some people, it's like I almost think of it like a percolator. It's like a slow drip, a slow drip, a slow drip, a
Yeah.
slow drip. And then I'll look at their life a year from when I life activated them. And I'm like, oh, that, particularly if I knew them well prior to life activation, that's always interesting for me. And
Yeah.
I can see the percolation. So, but I'm the same way. Like it takes a while. I mean, like I always joke about like my skepticism. I mean, I even joked with, Anthony, my partner, is the one who life activated me. And I said, like, I don't know if this shit really did anything.
Yeah, I'll definitely look back at stuff and just be like, okay, come on.
I can do it.
Like you can see all these things shifting and you refuse to see.
Right. And then I put pen on paper and then I'm like, okay. A thing or two happened.
We're stubborn.
But I love it. I mean, like, I'm really excited because, I've known you for years and I've never seen you in real life. So I get to see you tomorrow and I'm so excited.
No.
And I'm
Watch
just,
out, Austin.
yeah, watch out, Austin. It's going to happen. But, anyway, I just wanted to just thank you. Thank you for being a part of Becoming Light. Thank you for just being on the path. I'm really excited for more and more what happens because I've watched your business and you change in the time since you started it. And so I just really thank you for your time, for
Oh,
being a part of it all.
thank you too. I mean, it's been such a huge transition. And like I both times I've taken your course, like yeah, I was pretty early on
Yeah.
and then taking it again because I I just wanted to.
Mhm.
And it's so there's so many lessons and there's so many touching things and there's so many moments I've been able to incorporate into business and personal life. So I'm very grateful for you.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Or I'm gonna hug you.